What's up, my Pugnios? Andy with Andy Vlogs, sharing with you guys a little bit different kind of episode, a little bit different type of vlog where I wax philosophical. This week has been kind of interesting. I already shared the week in review vlog, and it kind of showed a melancholy side of myself that I didn't really film much more just because of what had happened. On Wednesday of this last week, I got some news that was very troubling, that was disheartening, and quite honestly put me into, a spell of anxiety. This was particularly more difficult. There's certain dreams in life, there's certain expectations you set for yourself as a young kid based on your socioeconomic situation, the people that you've met, the influences in your life. And since a kid, I've always had this dream. I'm not going to go specific into that because, quite frankly, I feel like it's not really your business. It's a little too personal. However, I had an opportunity to move in the direction towards that dream that I've always had. On Wednesday, I learned that I failed, and the feeling I had was very, very difficult to deal with. Now, granted, I am in a very blessed situation where I do have job security. I have a wonderful wife and kids. I've got health. I've got people around me that support me. But sometimes there are things that don't go your way, and disappointment really creeps in. And that's really what happened to me on that day. Quite frankly, it's been the whole rest of this week that I've kind of been coping with it. I'm definitely being very general, but I kind of want to share with you my experience through this process as I share with you this vlog and some footage that I took while I was contemplating the circumstance. Hiking is a very interesting pastime. It certainly promotes heart health and cardiovascular endurance. It's also one of those things that takes forever, but the payoff is so great. Cross country is a little bit different because it definitely speeds up the distance with which that you are undertaking. But it uses a completely different muscle set, a different type of endurance and mentality that you need to keep in order to finish a race. Hiking, however, is a little bit different. There's a little tiny lookout that I'd heard so much about. It was a very, very quick up and back hike, and it was really a good time for me to reflect back on my life, on my experiences, and this most recent disappointment that happened. As you hike, you ultimately have a goal. It's to get to the top. You usually don't hike downhill. You usually hike up and then hike back. There's a different perspective that you take when you're hiking that you don't normally do when you're working out. Like when you're running, you don't really think where your feet go. You just kind of run and keep in your peripheral the direction that you're going to take. You're more concerned about your speed, your pace, your breathing, etc. When you're hiking, you have to watch your step. Now, you're not looking down when you hike, but you're using more of a cautionary approach when you're hiking because you could easily step on a rock and turn your ankle. As I was hiking up this mountain and as I was shooting with my drone, it gave me an interesting perspective. You're only focusing on the path that you're on. And as you see here on this video, you can see that there are plenty of paths that lead you to the top. And that's kind of what hit me as I was hiking up the trail. Since I've had a chance to digest this event, and especially during editing this footage, I noticed that honestly, the path that I'm on is the path that I should be on. It's the path that God wants me to be on, and it's the path that is going to be best for my circumstance right now. And despite me trying to put myself out there to take a harder path and ultimately stumbling, I can just get back up and resume where I'm at, or I can just go back where I came from and take another path. And I think that's ultimately what I've decided to do. Not only that, but as I was hiking and as I reached the top of this mountain, this lookout, I noticed something. There's quite a bit of graffiti and there's quite a bit of trash, which is unfortunate, but someone had specifically put this message here. And I feel like it was for me. Everything's gonna be all right. And I truly believe that. So ultimately, I think the moral of this story here is that along the way, there's going to be hardship. We're going to make choices in our life that ultimately will lead to the same end. Whether you go down, whether you go up, whether you go through a path untrod, whether you actually carve your own path. You'll turn your ankle, you'll make mistakes, and you just need to get back up and sometimes go back where you came from. Well, I think it's time to head back. I really enjoyed myself up here. It's gorgeous. It's nothing like the other hike, which is actually up there. Some of those other shots that I've taken have literally been on that mountain ridge. But this little guy, this is a fun little 5-10 minute hike, and it's really relaxing. I think I'm gonna do this a lot more, and the view is unbelievable. I am a little depressed, but really, I think I am fortunate. Really, I am so fortunate and so blessed. I mean, I have 4 amazing children and a wonderful wife. I have a stable job. It's just there's little roadblocks and obstacles that come in your life that sometimes you can't get over. And in life, you're gonna have to go the other way. You're gonna have to either back up where you came from or kind of pave your own path. And I'm not sure what my path holds for me. It's not like it's the end of the world, but you know, really when you have all your hopes and dreams in this one goal, and then it doesn't happen the way that you want it to, it's very hard to chew. I mean, as I said, I hate disappointment. I hate it with a passion. But like Evie said, really, I think there's another path for me. I think God wants me to go down the path that I'm currently on, and that there's something in store for me in the mid-future, and I think I'm okay with it. So, but I think there's some principles and some morals that you can take away from experiences like this, and I hope that, you know, whoever listens to this might find some inspiration, or at least find some comfort in it, because it's been tough. It's been really hard, but I think I'll be okay, and I know you will too. Just like The Rock said, everything's gonna be all right. Nevertheless, I'm gonna head back down this hill, and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day and hike. Hopefully you guys do too.